Yeah.
Wait,
How,
we
how the
wait.
sound? How's the sound? How's the video?
We're not seeing a video, you know. Where hear sound though.
Well, like too much background noise or anything? Or
No man, you good man, you good, you good, you
Enough,
good.
man.
uh,
Good man.
All the
I was
while, full of
I was
style.
wait. So you live stay on campus?
no, but me the things say I get to go there. But me work out something still, so I probably eventually go Taylor.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Irving are fully now. Based
Hmm?
on film standards.
They no full, but they never get they weren't getting back to me.
Oh.
Yeah, fam, but
Jaja.
that's hard still. That's hard.
Yeah. I don't know if you have a couple bridging up on campus now, Tariq. I have a couple bridging on campus, you know, and you know, it's a campus different, you know, still.
Of
Like
course.
it's boring. Vibes are not,
Jaja.
I don't know, so you're supposed to
Everything.
go out there. You're supposed to go there frequently now.
Yeah, I have to because between faculty and all them things there, I've sorted out some things. So
Plan.
yeah, so yes, me I said that a difficulty because that a taxi here daily. So that yeah, man. But
Transport dangerous, you know.
that again.
But you see, we're not even officially introduced to one, so
I could start the podcast officially.
I mean, we start record already still.
Yeah, but that's an edit out, man.
No man, keep it little first part. It look nice. Welcome to For the Record. This is episode 4. Yeah. Let us introduce the Faculty of Engineering rep at the Wimona campus, Mr. Nile Anderson.
Blessings.
Alright, Nile, welcome to the podcast. Tell the people about yourself. Who is Nile Anderson?
Who is Nile Anderson? Well, in short, Nile Anderson is a very determined man, determined to achieve his goals, and what his goals are essentially to make an impact on a positive impact on this world in whatever shape or form, however small, however big. But that is Nile Anderson. Full stop. Nothing else. The river will, the river will deliver.
All the while.
Yo, the river will deliver. General. Alright, so pretty much there. I want to talk about like the issues young people face, especially in these times, right? Because there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I don't know if you know hear what happening in Nigeria too, because they have like some protests or police brutality or something. I don't know if you want to hear. So a whole lot of things are going for young people, right? So like like now you being like the rep. Enough people in our faculty they're supposed to even come to you and people are come to me and tell me their problems and stuff. But like when you hear what other people are saying, so like more to hear for similar things people are said to you. Can I hear me?
Yeah, man. So, some of the things you'll hear definitely for sure to start. You'll hear students say that, listen, I've been in a class or classes for a week and I have no Wi-Fi. I have my laptop has started to fail. All sorts of things are basically Murphy's law taking place right now with everything online. So
Everything that
internet's
will
going
go
down.
wrong goes wrong.
Mm.
Because and then you even have students that are in regions where they're stealing wires. So of no fault of their own and no control of their own, they are without internet access.
Facts.
So you have it varying, and then beyond that, you have some people that because of the whole idea that a lot of people have lost their jobs or have been put on a little labor because of the pandemic. You realize that a lot of people are not able to pay their school fee. So you have a lot of people saying, boy, I don't think I can continue with the semester, and among other things. So financial difficulties, you have difficulty with devices, you have difficulty with connectivity, and then there's a group of students that we don't always talk about or as much as we should. We have the counseling unit to help them, but you know that there are students that possibly come from abusive homes and so on, where it's not the easiest to really operate in those households. And right now they're face to face with the challenge of the abusers as well as with online school, which is
Yeah.
itself challenging.
Well, we can only imagine because um this is somebody text the other day say like they in the home and they like we can see why it was stressful for a lot of people. And I just say you have online school. I just say people have online class too. And the fact say you're at home, I have things that you have to take care of. Because some people have their personal business or they have family issues they have to deal with that. Just like what you said, people that come from abusive homes. So not unnecessarily abuse sometimes. So as I said, sometimes you might have a sick parent or grandparent.
Right. And all those stresses just there all at once.
Mm-hmm. And you have to try to take care of them and I sort out everything and something. And why you really rough right now. Me even think about like not necessarily university students, but even imagine you're in a kindergarten and you come now if you say you had the school online. Like in a kindergarten, you just want to run up and play and play with the
You
people.
know that's the thing are gone.
Them say they can't go and I'm gonna say, yo, that rough brother, cause like you feel like it had robbed people of their life and certain aspects where we used to have, you know?
Yeah, man. And you know, always you talk about the kindergarten students.
Mm,
You have to think about the difficulty from the perspective of the educators themselves. That they themselves are not necessarily as well trained with technology, and a lot of them are, let's say, on the older side, and it's a bit more difficult for them to learn at this point, and
yeah,
they're having to struggle with that process as well. So it's sometimes a mutual struggle, and of course that doesn't turn out very well when it all adds up.
yeah, yeah.
And
But
one thing, there's also a group of students that they're not as recognized is that the disabled population.
oh
Because
yeah.
yeah, cause since we dey like scroll through WhatsApp and I saw a status where this girl was in a blackboard class and she was deaf
Mm,
and she was asking if someone could basically like um, type the important parts of what the lecturer was like saying
mm,
and stuff. And I think it was like a language-based course or some over humanities. And like really, I look on it and I say like, um, we know so most of these restrictions came due to the whole corona thing, but we weren't really prepared to undertake um, this much like these measures. And from what I say, it tremendously affect like the learning process and everything on both sides, from the students to the educators. Rough.
you see, in a first world country like America and them places, it's easy to say, all right, what we do online learning, cause most people have stable Wi-Fi, most people have devices and stuff. But when you come in a place like Jamaica now where you live down in a way, a one standpipe there in the community,
What's
everybody
that
use one
pipe?
everybody use one standpipe and a laptop that is, cause, no, because it's a reality for some people, you know. As
And
funny as it
that's
might sound and
Mario, let me tell you something though. Yeah, you see, you see, up by my maternal grandmother's place, by my maternal grandmother's place, they you have to be at a certain spot at the house
Backside.
You have that like if it shifts by a millimeter, the phone call cut.
Gone.
Cut.
And there are many students that they themselves are living in these regions,
Yeah.
and we had to go tell them say yo. So, and some of them we tell them say all right, we're going to zero rate the sites and all those things, but some of them just don't have the connectivity any at all.
They didn't even have the connectivity. If you said we're going to use the zero rated site. Yo, I mean, I say, as funny as it may sound, it's just a sad reality. And it's sad, sad reality. As some of these students, me I tell you, sad, sad reality. What they have mentioned too is, well, this now work till next week, Wednesday, but today is World Mental Health Day. So, like, all these things, I will just affect people mental health, especially young people who, as you know, energetic now and we're supposed to be out and about and do all these things and we're unable to. So, like, how, give your personal experience or like, if you know anybody experience where they must say, yo, feel like me about mad dog. Like, you know anybody or you wanna feel like that?
Well, to be honest, it's been a lot. I know that I have one student, and she constantly contacts me, and it's like she's going through a lot right now because for one she's a regional student, so it's like when all of this happened, she had to cope with the idea of how me I go travel to Jamaica, trying to sort out all of that, and in between that, she had a death in her family in that exact period, and having to stress as to how am I going to do school and all that right now, and it's begun to compound itself because she's not feeling that well, and then she has a lot of issues on her side in terms of connectivity, and the pressure is just building up. And to be honest, I have days still where I'm just say, oh, I can't go to school today because I just not have it. You know, what I mean, there are days where it's hard to get out of bed. To be totally honest, it's like I say, yo, you can't do this today, and every day is like every day you miss to it's like it just compounds itself, and it's like you feel like you're in a worse position than you started and so on. It's really hard to find the motivation for us get the start and start back, but just a try press on, um and me just want to say though that there is help available because them have like a counseling thing. You can actually contact them. We can share the details of that when we are talking about you and so on. And yeah, some other local services that them offer here about the place. So I definitely encourage people to say, oh, access those, especially you counseling unit. I know even before struggling with the whole idea online school, I know that I would have went there because I was having issues studying. Apparently, I have ADHD, and they gave great advice and they really make me feel better about the whole idea of tackling school and so on. So, I know you have some good people there. So, if you can get in touch with them, if you can get in touch with them, would I encourage anybody who are here this right now to just get in touch with them?
Yeah. Definitely good services available there. Tarek, what you say? Yeah, I feel like you go mad sometime, like you just, yo, come on, Tarek.
Well, as a person that deals with depressive moments and anxiety, right? Um, like personally, there are times when especially social lecture them
Mm,
like things aren't relayed um to my liking, right, in terms of information and them thing there. So like sometimes yo like me not understand because I learn a specific way, and that's really on me personally. So like separate and aside from downloading slides and extra information and
mm,
basically like trying to catch up. Sometimes the anxiety just rush come back and me I said, Judge, I like yo, me dep on the course how long, like we spend like 5-6 hours, like we spend the whole day, night,
mm,
so come and me have like one bag of stuff like extracurricular, like stuff, or like me have like personal stuff to attend to, and
yeah.
like when I spend so much time for like one course or two course, and like nothing nah stick, like coupled with like the corona thing and such, because I was in a community that was quarantined. And like with all the things that are going on in life, like sometimes it's really heavy.
Mm.
And like if most people aren't trained to deal with like situations like this, because I know every day like like we're under a pandemic, I know every day like people under quarantine and such, and that's why like these things are not exactly normal in our present day society. So
Yeah.
like personally for me at times it's kind of overwhelming,
Mm.
but because I practice like various like holistic methods of like calming down and all them things, like meditation and such, and sorting out my thoughts and taking walks, and all these things, despite the whole Rona,
Yeah.
that kind of help. But I'm aware that you have like people with serious like mental issues that may have been abused in the past, and all these things are
Mm.
people that are still being abused, that are like forced to be in that environment. And
Mm.
like one thing, even when we did up on campus, we still not go certain class because they have some days and not just the day.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes I just like, yo, I can't bother today. Can't
some
bother.
days and not just the day. I have some like spillover work from other courses and such, and it's just not that day.
Mm-hmm.
No, so if we were on campus and basically that are go on, and no, some people, depending upon where you live, are confined to them house, or them afraid of the Rona,
Mm.
like solitude, if you're not really up for it, can be maddening,
Mm.
right? It can seriously affect you. And that's why like you have some people that talk about the next epidemic is like a wave of depression due to corona and all these things. And since today quote unquote World Mental Health Day, like people really greatly underestimate like the power of the mind and how the mind shapes reality and all these things, and people tend to neglect mental health.
Mm.
But this year specifically, because of the corona and everything that has been going on, like it really shine a light on how much people should protect their mental health, and how important it is.
And people, why? I mean, just since this whole thing started, like for me, like, and it just pure anxiety, because you don't really know what the outcome of anything will be. Outcome of school, or like the people around the car. When you hear say all these people are dead, and nobody don't know how to like effectively treat this virus and thing. Like in the earlier stages, it's just like pure anxiety. You used to wake up like used to wake up frightened for so like me don't even know why. I just used to wake up frightened. Me never did know why, and I mean no, I think we just kind of get used to it. Like you just get used to being home. You just get used to go and say, oh yeah, you have this many new cases. Oh, this amount of people did today. I just I kind of weird still. So you get like desensitive. What the word desensitized? That
Desensitized. The
yeah,
thing is that humans were designed to survive and adapt. So regardless of our environment, like we are gonna survive and get acclimatized or whatever, desensitized to
mm,
basically any constant situation that
Or,
we present.
I think
no, no, no. When there's a constant, when there's a stimulus, because it's a theory in psychology as well. Um,
oh,
me not recall. I think me not recall it name accommodation or something of the sort. But essentially,
Right.
you know, like how you have on your shirt, you know, like whole day go without having on your shirt consciously. It's like you know, meds you have on the shirt because you've
Mm-hmm.
been wearing it all day. So
Oh,
yeah, man. So it's like that. It's like if somebody don't bring back the thought, it's like you stop meds it after a while, and
mm,
it's been a long while.
yeah,
But, but I mean, other than the fact say we're really supposed to take precautions and everything there, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to reach a desensitization stage, not complete desensitization per se, but a
mm,
place where we're not really worried about the whole idea of the possibility of dying of or of a loved one contracting the disease and so on. I think it's a better place to reach, not having that constant worry. But I think we still need to stay aware, if you know, say, oh, you know, we have to take precautions and we have to be safe and so on. It's just that with me still.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. But no, just say it happened for so long and coming like it feel normal now.
Yeah.
It feel normal, and that to me scary. Say it feel normal. Say you go wake up tomorrow and you go know say the virus still there and people still are dead for you. You go know say you can't go do certain things or whatever. That's so weird, yeah. So let's say yesterday, let's see this article or write this headline in like Lena on Twitter. Not related to mental health. It's
Twitter.
just
All right. Twitter.
I just something to say, and so it was one 38-year-old man. They want to look film for attempted murder and his 16-year-old girlfriend. And I said, even before we opened the article for read it, we
Yeah.
didn't we didn't know why this man want kill the 16-year-old.
Why,
You know,
Bun?
they always related to that. Always related to that. Since we talk about like the struggles where young people face, you see one of the biggest things in Jamaica where especially young females face, especially young females, are, are like predatory behavior from older, insecure men.
Yeah.
You was a 38-year-old man. What you even attack for a 16-year-old like that for? Much less to say, you ever try kill her when she want to leave you.
But you know the next thing, Telly? Like, yo, I don't know if you know that, like, society basically condition young females to grow up faster. From these females are young, them also talk about like looking sexy and all these things. So like
Mm.
especially in American media, I'm like I wonder like what does a 10-year-old really need to know about looking sexy? All these brats and them look at that what them give them from them younger. So like it like condition them. But you know if you realize, or if you ever like they in a like a female circle when they're younger, like young high school, like first form, second form. I always want like older man, if I like taxi man, a car man or
Always taxi man. Yo, they used to love taxi man, you know? Yo, they could like say anywhere in Jamaica you go, them look like they love taxi man. Remember in high school, I don't know if I did exactly taxi man. This one girl that know about her 20, them tell me about 15, 16. It's a girl that know about her 28-year-old boyfriend. I said, yeah, 28. Yo,
I'm always I say like no, we do not even know about life yet. I wanna undertake such serious relationships. We wanna experience
that
life.
you as a big, strapping, stinking man. When you even talk to such a young somebody, that don't make no sense, dog. And you see, no, you see thing about it from a barn. I'm
Yeah.
a 22 now. Me I hear about him sitting here. And then I stop, how this, yeah, to me, it don't make no sense to me. How them things still a continue.
But as we say, you know, as Tarek say, you know, you might say it's where the direction of society is unfortunately going, where we basically have like a sexualization of the whole society. So the whole
Exactly.
like right. I don't know if you know about this Netflix show that caused great
Beauty.
controversy. Yes, yes, it was supposed to be a social commentary, but people did not like the imagery that was depicted because they were saying that they were encouraging the exact thing that they were speaking out against. But it was supposed to speak out on the whole idea of the sexualization of our young girls and the whole idea of them being pushed, as you said, like to sexual maturity before time.
Mm,
So it's a grand issue with our society. It's not just, unfortunately, it's not even just Jamaican society. It's societies all over right now,
that's
and
true.
it's a fundamental problem. It's just I don't know if we've become a ethicless society, or begin to lose the ethics that we had that were guiding us before, or who knows?
I have no idea. But to me, it just strange. You know, say a years you hear about them sitting and then when they like and then no fight time when the man realize say yo the younger girl want to leave him or whatever, he try to kill her or something, or he does kill her. That to me just like why
Shakiness. Shakiness.
you see
Shaky.
yeah it seem like a something where they teach people. Come on, see
Yeah.
how you see if I did 1 or 2 man, but I say yo
Enough.
no. But it's like every year you hear the same thing, and it's a good amount of cases every year. I think a couple of years ago you did have this man, he shoot his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend in a stomach in a mandible. I'm going to see the video and I say, yo, this rough, cause like they just sit down there like, nah, man. Like you wouldn't think so nothing happen, and man just pull out the gun, boom, and just walk out. And I say, yo, they're sitting here really,
Yo,
me
but
not,
look at I tell you, like this is something that has been like culturally entrenched in us from from way back when. Because like remember like when me in a like third form, ninth grade, whatever they want to call it, like
mm-hmm.
me and taxi man I look the same girl.
Dog.
Like
Hold on. But you know something, though, Telly, Telly,
Yeah, man, me I hear, man.
yeah, man. So me I say, you know something is that if we look at it still, and I don't want to write this narrative right here, right now, necessarily given the context, because I mean, I'm not condoning the relationship with the adolescent, the 38-year-old man with the adolescent, but the whole idea of men that have been killing their spouses or their significant others. We can draw it back to the whole idea of mental health, and I mean, because we talked about mental health earlier, and the whole idea that some of these men really and truly sometimes they don't necessarily are not allowed an outlet for their mental health. It's like mental health is not a thing with men.
yeah,
What?
it's not a thing.
Right. It's the narrative has been written that hey, if you're a man, you have to just tough it out and deal with it. And it's because of that, some of them are afraid to talk about their problems. Some are afraid to express their emotions because of the fear of being called out by society for it.
When you see video, a girl say, "What you about for your body boy?" We don't
Yeah,
know
I
when you
know the
see
worst.
video.
I know the worst thing. Like personally, if
Mm.
I deal with depressive moments, I wouldn't say it's full blown depression, right? But
Yeah,
separate
everybody have
and
them.
aside from that, I have anxiety, right? And like I
Mm.
have mild anxiety attacks, right? Like even some girl I'm talk to and them think that like when I naturally rate somebody and them ask if you're alright and oh yeah move certain way, you can actually try to explain to them because you want the person who you care about, like
Mm-hmm.
understand you on a level there, right? And sometimes like me share like some of anxiety, irritability and blah 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 and the car side and such. And like people literally look at me like something wrong with me or oh why not just go take some like pills or oh yeah man tough it out. I feel I say like no, I'm a human being with feelings. with problems and all these things, and I am capable to overcome these things, but may I go through them things, and people go through these things, not just females alone. Oh my God, the world is ending. No, men have it too. And it's like, because I like machismo culture and this whole over like masculine image that was pushed in the past, like men are supposed to feel nothing. Bing, 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 the bullet them just bounce off, right? No emotion, no nothing. And it's like, like one of the worst thing I feel like somebody we care about and them thing they no really like understand that you have these mental issues, and them just chalk it up to just, oh, you're just having a bad day.
I truth at the matter. But when I say to anybody still, say you can't really watch it. Like mental health is a very real thing. You see the psycho, you go to a doctor, you check up, you know, feel so well. You can't nothing wrong with going to somebody to talk about, as in a professional about them things, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are meds, you know, if people meds say, oh, if me I go to such and such place, my mother, XYZ, all them things,
Yeah,
then
the
me I go to
stigma
deal with.
heavy.
But at the end of the day, but any idea, if you're sick, you have to go to a doctor. I true time matter. Your body, the cycle, you look about your body health, and if you look about your mental health, if you do things like when you exercise, if you keep up your physical, yeah, you have to exercise your mental as well. So the things like meditation, them kind of weird, and you have to do checkups, you have to link a professional on them thing. I don't know why people are so afraid of the idea of linking a professional. I can never understand it.
Like,
Okay.
me personally, me feel like it's just like a stigma. Like, oh, if me go like doctor for such things, me I go mad, and people are gonna look upon me like one of them man they will eat out a jump on and walk up and down naked and them thing there. So people
Yeah,
tend to
man, but
avoid that.
watch it. At that no, at that no matter what them think, because then if you keep it in and you continue to progress to get worse, what gonna happen then? You just go in a worse position than you started. People are made that you can get worse.
Yeah.
You not gonna always get better if you leave it untreated. That's it, you know. And every sickness you can live. If you have HIV/AIDS, you have to go to the doctor. You have to get the retrovirals. You have to take your retrovirals. So same way up yourself to take care of. Same way up here so need help.
Facts.
Yeah, when I hear me,
Yeah.
I get disconnected a while ago. Yeah, but
Let's
yeah,
carry
man,
on, man.
Nile, yeah, man, but people, I don't know, people afraid to seek professional help. It's not a norm for you hear somebody say they gone do therapy in a Jamaica and them about visiting psychologist and something. Like we're very neglectful and mental health. As soon as I say, yo, I feel depressed or me have some sort of anxiety, people probably look on you. Like average Jamaican probably look on you and say, well, what about yo, just easy now, you're good, man, you're good. Just relax, man. Like people, I don't know, I don't take you as serious as opposed to what I feel like younger generation now, like the people where me encounter you, them take it more serious than the older generation of folks. Like people will
Yeah.
say, um, like you hear people talk about say they have anxiety and depression a lot up there, and they always try to help them and stuff. Remember even when we that cluster rip or something, like the amount of people with have certain issues, like it's just unbelievable. Like me never did know say so much people are go through so much shit, and until they're in a position to hear and notice, like you're not gonna say, yo, even such person have certain issues I deal with. 'Cause, like yo, now I'm sure you can say the same. Like since you're in a the position, people are come to you and they might tell you certain things, and you say, yo, me not even wouldn't even expect say you are go through this. 'Cause like you will see them walk on like you say, yo, they look normal and they look like everything are going good, and then they can say, yo, and they show you a levels and they say, yo, this is going on in life right and why I say, yo, John, start John.
Yeah, them have to walk like everything good same way, and you that never know.
Mm,
I truth of the matter. The truth of the matter. But
so,
that's why we need fit that and that's why important you say our mental health campaigns as me. I encourage you if you make sure so we join them there as me make people know say it's okay as me to not be okay.
yeah, yeah,
100%.
very much. And we just need to, we as young people too, we need to make sure say we're careful and we not, like ridicule nobody if you come out and say, yo, may have certain issues that go on upstairs and whatever, because, me feel like we can relate to people, because I feel like it would have, because sure we are so mad somebody, because we live together, and we can't say what we are so mad somebody. Nile, you're mad somebody, Eric, you're well mad somebody, me, I'm mad somebody.
Seagrung.
Is
Very
it?
much, very much so.
Great days of Seagrung, man.
Well, so, say, you can't from that test. I know sometimes people look upon you and say, yo, you're going so, but sometimes you all we have different issues I deal with.
Yeah, man, I just ways for maintain like the mental health, cause like everybody needs a method like what them use for cope. Some people smoke, some people drink, some people make drug.
Being
It's just
problems
a
by
thing.
yourself.
It's just a thing where people need methods in which them use for like cope with whatever them are go through, right? More likely
Yeah,
constructive methods and not destructive methods, right? That may have adverse effects. And it's just that sometimes we may see like people always laughing or always trying to make a joke, a cheer up everybody, not knowing that these people are probably dying inside, right? Because of whatever they're going through. And it's just that I feel people need to be more sensitive to like other people's struggle, right? And not be so quick to jump to a certain conclusion or to just brush it off as a bad day or something like that.
And that is right, bro, because there was a security guard to that she always had an attitude whenever we were on the hall.
Yeah,
And everybody would say all sort of things about her. And it only turns out that her story was published on I think some site like Real Jamaicans, like how Real Humans of New York, like a little blog
yeah.
like that. And when they heard her story and all the things she's been through, everybody was like, "Yo, I'm really sorry that I judged." And then on top of that, she's actually a cancer. She's actually a cancer patient right now. So imagine having to go through all of that. You see me? And people are judge you and so on. They don't know your story. They don't know what you're going through. And likewise, we can tell us, say, yo, right now, you, you see things calm at the top. You see me? You see things calm at the top, but trust me, it got much deeper than that.
I think I keep on a quarter. So yeah, me that's on campus. Um, and something else me say a lot of young people struggle with, especially on campus, are like alcohol abuse and them something, because sometimes when people, as I said, some people sometimes when they can't cope with this something, they turn to alcohol, and they abuse like drugs and stuff like them look or something there. And all them something they have their time and place, but when you reach a point where like every day you depend on this thing, cause we didn't know one person where like every day she a drink every day, like she could she is like she couldn't go throughout her day without a drink. And say you see like that at such a young age, you know it's something that really just break your heart in a way. So I don't think they have to watch something, but just over mic on. So like Derek, what was you ready to say if you add to all of this, like any other
So I just
personal or you know shared experiences with anybody you have where dealing with certain things?
Um, Jaja, yeah, I know a lot of people with depression, anxiety, even
Mm,
multi-personality, right? And it's just that a lot of these people, them they in a like paying jobs and everything, and them normal, right? Leaders of teams and all these things. It's just that people find a way to cope with their struggle, right?
mm,
And I would advise people to really take a constructive method of coping instead of a destructive method of coping, like the rampant alcohol abuse and various drugs and pills and all them something. It's just like I would advise anyone to seek
mm,
counseling and seek
mm,
a friend.
mm. Good advice, good advice. Now, when you tell people when they come to you and like they tell you their issues and stuff, I give you the professional advice now. What does the river deliver?
Alright, to be honest, my first go to is to seek out, as I've been emphasizing, seek out professional help. Because to be honest, and even though we said earlier, say yo, we shouldn't be afraid. At one point, they're afraid of the whole idea of stigmatization. But I'm telling you that I've been to the counselors, and at the end of the day, it never made me. It only made me better. It never made me worse.
Mm,
And when I say, yo, definitely seek professional help because I'll be a listening here. I'll listen to you. I'll hear you out. I'll hear what's going on and so on. I'll give you as much advice as I can. But at the end of the day, I'm not a professional. I'm not trained to deal with this. So I'm always going to advise you to, seek professional help. Just like if you're sick, if you have cough, if you have fever, we can get your pills and so on, like Panadol or so on. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, say, you need to go see a doctor. You need to
yeah,
see a doctor because I'm not trained to deal with this, but you have people that are. So go and seek professional help. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, yeah. All right, so next thing now is I don't know. All right, so like, what do you talk about the whole school thing and something, and uh, I don't know if you see, yeah, some voice note, some video where go around. I don't know if you see them yet. Now,
Sorry, repeat what you said.
he may say, we did talk about the whole school thing and something. I may say, voice note and video go around. So since school start, where like people have some challenges and stuff. I don't know if you see them.
No, no. Who are those videos? What are in those videos?
Alright, Tarek, bring them up now. Share your screen and bring them up, man. Yeah, some video go around, man, of the pitting them in a school, and it's like, them and the teachers and parents are struggle, man. Then they all over internet, man, and people status and something. Nile, you here?
Which one will play first?
Anyone, you can save a favorite for last. Nile, you here?
Yeah, man, I listening. Like, share the screen, man.
Yeah, so this one was basically a teacher, I think, giving instructions. I'm going to pay close attention to what she's saying, right?
The vowels that she gave, A, E, I, O, U, and then look around in the house if they can find any items that start with the vowels. And of course, I'm sure the parents can assist. For example, A is for egg or aki, so things like that.
You hear what she said a while ago?
I heard the part about vowels, but we say and find things that start
A.
with A.
Yeah, she said A is for egg.
Jaja.
Yo, play next one, play next one.
The vowels that she gave, A, E, I, O,
The next
U,
one.
and then look around in the house if they can find any items that start with the vowels. And of course, I'm sure the parents can assist. For example, A is for egg or aki, so things like that.
When me the first year, me I say, yo, something wrong with that statement. And I say, A is for egg. Me I say, yo, imagine this a big teacher will go to school and have her certificate and degree, you know. Yo, play next one, play next one.
Talk loud. Miss Watson. Good morning, Miss Watson. You have to make you do your dinner because I tell us what current are going.
Yo, no wonder, bud. No wonder, bud.
But the thing is that these are the realities of people go through. As comical as it might sound, yeah, current I go 10
No,
o'clock.
no,
So
it's sad, but it's funny too. Funny. Nile, you know wonder?
Me here, man. Tell the teacher for it because current are going.
I go with 10 o'clock.
Jaja. But thanks to you, that it's funny, but it's unfortunate. Reality for real.
You know, yo, it's funny, man, but it's sad seeing way too.
sad,
Can't be there for
sad.
them to get for rest of the term, rest of the semester.
Like sad, bro.
Yo, school, I forgot open up back, you know.
Yeah, man. School after.
Wait, play the last one, play the last one.
Now, man, I 2 more left, man.
Alright, yeah, play them.
Hello, I'm waiting for some work because you have anything to do.
This is not your teacher. I am a parent. I am not your teacher.
Then I figure out so.
So you can look a ranking face the picture. You have to tell me something like that. So I said to you, I am not your teacher. I am a parent. How me a galang? What you want me to do? Or what you want me to tear up some bad word tell you?
To not do that parent.
Yo, dog, want to know why this woman so pressed.
Yo, she press.
Yo, the woman,
That trip is so press.
yo, the woman I gonna wear. Yo, play
What's the context? What's the context behind this one?
it's like, to me, it seem like they put me a message her like she a teacher or something, and she tell him say no, I'm not a teacher. It's like she wanna get pressed over. I don't know. Why not wanna look like she pressed?
Oh, ja, is that child of the wrong number and think is the teacher them a message?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Ja, no.
And now, my favorite one. Yo, it's sad enough. Like, despite we make a joke about it, it's sad, but
No, it's not that it's very serious, but it's funny too. I'm gonna laugh after it. I'm not gonna go and like say no funny, me I laugh. But it's sad. It's funny.
all right, my favorite one now.
Kevin Mason. I am 6 years old. I am like to run.
I see him for criado.
Yo.
Yo, we
Yeah,
should
man.
give her a laugh because it's a serious thing, but
I've seen that one before.
Yo,
And
go back to school.
but
Go back to school.
it's a funny clip as is, but as you said, Tarek, remember you that and well tell you there talk about it, but imagine all kindergarten kids what they have to be going through and so on.
yeah,
You see me? So I mean the kid is trying, but I mean can you imagine getting such abusive language and you realize a
yeah,
child to do, you see me? You don't know, you don't understand where you're wrong.
yeah,
That's right. Like, we need to. There's something there I think about with you, right? And alright. So it's like, what did I say? We in this time presently, like I think we have the greatest minds ever present on earth all at one time. You know what I say?
do we
Like,
though? Do we?
listen, me feel so. And I like 1,000 years, hold on ago. And like years ago, when they didn't have, the Greek philosophers at the pinnacle of everything, and them did really create, um, I don't know how to say it. Them did really like influence people at that time. And over throughout the years, you have different people, you have different scientists, and so on and so forth. But now in this age where you have technology and you have information that gets shared around so easily, like everybody has some sort of sense, or should have some sort of sense.
Should.
We use the word should. I feel that is the more proper word to use. So everybody should have sense. And my thing though is that, alright, we are among the greatest minds in the history of humanity. We feel like instead of everybody wait for a couple top top scientists to create some treatments and vaccine or something. Because I mean that is important. That is very important. But me feel like we now supposed to say, alright, in the meantime, how can we go back to what we're supposed to do safely and relatively normally? So you see like the whole school thing now, me don't think it's supposed to be just an issue of, oh, is it going to be online or face to face? We're supposed to ask questions like, okay, if we if we are going to go back face to face, what is the best way we can go back face to face and keep everybody safe? You're not supposed to necessarily be say, boy, say it's either online or face to face, cause to what the thing I'm gonna know, like face to face can't. No, we're supposed to can look on ourselves and say, yo, in this country, the online thing are gonna rough. So how can we at least send some people back to school safely? But like, me don't know if for me, but me never did hear that discussion. Me never did hear anybody really suggest ideas on how to send people back to school safely. Is it that only thing media hear is people say, all right, we'll go online, we'll make sure so everybody have tablets, we'll make sure so they have internet and all that and all that. But the reality is, we can't do that. We can't get everybody tablets and laptops and we can't give everybody internet and something. So let me say, me feel like say we should have look for ways how we can open back school and open it up back safely. So like it didn't even have to be say everybody go back at school. So when I say alright, so some people have exams this year, like C6 and keep students. May I say alright, we could have even say alright, grades 10 to 13. Every school have a shift system, and you expand the classes, so you only have maybe 10 people per class or whatever. I mean, one issue there is that you'd probably need more teachers and stuff, but you get what me I say. You get
Yeah.
what me try to say. You're not like, I know everybody have to go back at school, but certain people like me feel like certain students have to go back at school. We feel like certain things can do. And especially in a high, I mean, as university students, it kind of easy if you say, all right, we'll go online because you will have the system up and running. The only thing
Yeah, and
is,
plus the lecturer them not teach anywhere more else. So.
exactly. So, and no fight, no fight him. We not even have our class when we live on campus. So we basically teach yourself either way. You get me? So,
Give all facts, nigga.
I feel like it is kind of easier for we as university students, but me I think back to even myself in a high school. Me I say, yo, me couldn't do this. Me couldn't do it. Cause you have certain subjects where I say, yo, to teacher used to have to sit down with you and say, yo, I saw this score, I saw this score. No, you don't. You didn't even have that opportunity really. And I say, yo, we couldn't do it. If we did ask in grade 11, grade 10, sixth form, we couldn't do this. That's saying I couldn't do this, but I feel out.
No, and that is facts because as we have seen in the recent CXC results, like
Yeah,
TC,
exactly.
yeah, I
Exactly.
think a 20-something% pass.
No, but then it say everybody there protested high like I'm not sure if it's a high failure rate, but the grades never did
A
as
high failure rate, man.
they never did as good as previous years. Like it rough man, so like I think me feel like some people should have go back to school, honest to
Yeah.
God, because I think it's as efficient now and then yeah,
It's
I mean
nowhere near as efficient. This
I,
online thing, and a lot of teachers them seem uninterested.
But I can tell you still, there were conversations regarding how we would proceed with physical schools. So that was a conversation that had taken place at several administrative levels. And so for some of the people that would have been having these conversations, such as school administrators and so on, it was a bit of a curveball for some of them when the ministry decided, hey, you know what, we were not going to proceed with with
with
physical school. We're going to go ahead with online school. Because
mm,
I mean, a lot of school principals are in regions where, of course, you don't know this is a reality where you know that like more than half of the students don't have access to services, to tablets, to devices, or even supportive homes where them can do it. So it was definitely a conversation.
mm,
And of course, we know the difficulty would have been that where do we achieve the balance? Do we prioritize having them safe, or do we prioritize having them comfortable in their education? And I guess this was the best midway that they could find at the time. And
mm,
really and truly, still, I know that that conversation happened at the tertiary level as well. Because I know I, for one, I would have went to faculty on several occasions saying, all right, let's identify some sites where we could set up sanitization sites and so on. And maybe we could put up signs to tell the students, about social distancing, or put up, like, where they have little foot at stores you go, where they have little foot markers, where markers on the ground tell us,
yeah,
all right, we stay this far and them kind of way there.
Yeah.
mm,
Right. I was saying, where could we put that? I was trying to identify sites only to have it be told to me that engineering students would not be coming back to school either. So it was a bit of a curveball for everybody because everybody was definitely, like, a lot of people were having those conversations.
mm.
But you know what's funny? I don't know if you guys know about the American, what was it? American Internet AISK. You know AISK, the school?
Yeah, we
I,
hear
I heard
about
about it.
rich
Right,
people.
right. Right. So they've been having school. They've said, and I'm going to say that it is a more affluent school. The cost is high, and they do have the resources in order to have setups like that. But I mean, how do you do that for an average school to have those kind of setups? And even then, they're still under pressure right now, even though they have protective measures placed all over the campus, such as automated temperature checks and sanitization stations all about the campus. But
Mm,
people are still finding an issue with that.
mm,
So I don't know. It's a hard demand to really meet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Certain issues like that, I would definitely harder. When you consider the expenses and stuff, that would
True.
definitely harder. We
But I
just
feel I think that they need to like try to find a more suitable balance, especially in Jamaica, because
definitely.
because as the results are showing, the kids them not learn, the kids them not learn at all, right? CXC proves that, I would say,
Especially,
like the previous videos, the previous videos what we just watched a while ago. The youths them don't know if use is and them thing there, and yo, the teacher them I tell them about a rubbish boy a for egg. Yo, so
yo,
it's like teachers aren't equipped and the whole thing isn't really set, for really like, if them decide to online school, them should ensure say how like information is being relayed effectively to the kids
mm,
in a medium in which them can understand and interpret and able to like use this knowledge in broader society.
mm,
But if you
mm.
tell the people them egg and them thing that
I know.
Why, Jam, I know at all. Something know at all.
Imagine that you have to work with online.
And the thing is that, like, Joe, I've constantly said this on the previous podcast, is that people are afraid, like, of the coronavirus. People are afraid. So, like, even if, like, they were to find a more suitable balance between effective learning and safety, people would still have problems. Kind of say, "Oh, me not send my picnic. That's because the Rona. I mean, have one elderly somebody has stay with me, and me no want them get sick with the road. You know, see much people are dead. You know, see much people have cases every day. The Rona, yeah. So
True.
people,
True.
yeah, fear.
True. And let me tell you one of the things that it kind of shift my opinions on lockdowns and so on and so forth. Because like when the cases start spike, you hear of enough people say, "Yo, lock this down and what and radiate it," and then they say, "Yeah, my school feel lock and so on and so forth." Even though yeah, these things have their purpose, and in the earlier days of the pandemic, mother say, "Yeah, these things, these things good come." Whenever they understand what happened and radiate. But so, when we start to think about it, I may say, all right, until effective treatments and vaccine come about, this thing I got still here. All right, so how long a vaccine I got take to develop? Okay, maybe them I gonna have one ready and approved by middle next year or late next year. All right, good. That's still not fixed, not yet, because they just done it. So it's still in a COVID as far as we're concerned. God forbid. But me could say we're still in a this state of restrictions and stuff. So next year come, middle of next year come now and say, all right, we have one approved. Okay, we're gonna start distribute. You feel say Jamaica got another first batch of distribution then? When you have country like America, you have the big rich country them in Europe, and you have country like America. You feel like we are got another little Jamaica, I got another first batch of distribution then? Me not think so. Me feel like by the time they have that and they say, all right, we're gonna start distribute now. America come, boom, big money. Take your life for feeding people. They're gonna take years for them distribute it out for them people too. So Jamaica gonna just get like a little. So even at that time, I don't know, hopefully it's not like that. But this is how I think I may see it based on how I see the world set up.
Naturally, because of capitalism, and their own agenda.
So
Yeah.
little we're all getting and everybody
Yeah, but my
at one
problem
time.
is, right? So even if like a vaccine is not ready, like life still has to go
That
on.
means say,
Human beings naturally adaptive, so we should be working on solutions to basically better the standard of living,
is
even if we're in a pandemic. Yo,
me I say
and like me personally, as UWI student, like more I got the course them dog and not learn like that. See me, it was a tad bit better in like the face-to-face class, but
yeah,
it's
I
still
mean
shaky.
now Tarek that me I say. You see, right now, the earlier days, yeah, good. We lock down, we try to get this thing under control,
Yeah, to flatten the curve
flatten
now.
the curve. I mean, right now we have a spike and stuff, so we really need to have all these restrictions and stuff. Where say anytime the curve flatten again, me not feel like if you have all these not necessarily restrictions, but me not feel like we're supposed to I say, yo, we can't go to this and this. We're supposed to figure out, okay, how are we going to do this and this? How we are going to carry out these things that we usually carry out where I help the economy, we are help people. We can't go just say, all right, we are sitting down and we plan a vaccine. Because it will take a while. And by the time if it finally distribute to out throughout the good amount of the population that are years, because if one vaccine fit come tomorrow and they start distribute and they send 20,000 20,000 in a country, it will take a while for you to distribute that 20,000 and it will take a while for you to get another 20,000. So by the time everybody in a country, or at least maybe 50%, 70% of the population for it, or maybe all 2 years gone, and we can't, and if, may I say that if one vaccine drop tomorrow, that if one vaccine, and say not drop tomorrow, and not until a year time. So as much as me no want to say learn to live with COVID, we have to learn to live with COVID. And that are just like one of the sad truths about it. We can't keep on and say, yo, we have to lock up this and do that, and because
Life still a go on,
yeah,
and people neglect the mental health aspect, like solitude unless you can manage it, not really good for nobody. I will understand, say, yo, people are dead and all these things, right? And
mhm,
I'm not really say that lightly, right? But we have to adapt,
mhm,
right? And obviously, this come back to the school thing, this online school thing. Boy, it not really works, sir. Not work at all.
yeah, tell us say rough
Like
coffee.
a lot of people are managed, but like from my experiences and people who me know, like,
Mhm.
yo, enough people are struggling. Even over Southside where them claim say, oh, at the easy faculty and such and such and such.
Rough over this too.
People are struggling,
This isn't easy
especially
for
the first
this.
year.
This isn't easy for anybody at all.
Yeah.
No one, I'm not gonna say a while ago. I say, for me, I say for me, the online school now, that bad, as bad as it could be. Come I not do as much courses as we usually do, and me have laptop and me have relatively decent Wi-Fi, so
Relatively.
but relatively, but me know say I have people out there where much worse, much worse, especially people where never grew up as privileged as others, and some people they have to take leave of absence and they have to just stop school and so on and so forth. Now you know people will take leave of absence since year.
Yeah, I know at least a few students that told me eventually that they had to take a leave of absence. So quite a few, and you know that the numbers were reported. They say it's definitely it's not of 300 or so students that have to take leave of absence, and then you still have students that are struggling because you have students that have definitely reported as having not having their devices or anything.
Yeah.
So how are they progressing?
Mm. I remember say enough people used to go for like work and travel and get little money and come back and pay fee and thing.
Right, and that's a part of the fallout right now too, because some of the people that took leave of absence is not necessarily the whole idea of online school now, but it's being able to pay for online school
Mm.
because a lot of them don't have those sources of income anymore. That's
Mm-hmm.
gone. That's cut off.
Yo, people that say you is up late fine. Let me look upon this. I'm not even the look. You say you is up late fine upon them answers. When you hear
Yo,
what
and then them raise tuition and all these things. And in my experience, honestly, um, the online school don't really worth the money still.
no, worth it. No, you don't worth it. You don't worth it.
Like we understand, say like a degree necessary for upward mobility and such, but like the current structure at the online school and my experience with the lecturers and such and how information is being like them not understand say, well, I think they do, but then the business. Like
Mm.
them not understand say um with this avenue of online learning, like them have the whole internet like information and such, and them can find new creative ways to bring some things across and all these things, but them just basically adopt the same old approach but just online.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the issue. And I actually had an interview the other day where I actually said that, I mean, online school in itself is not a new concept. This has been with us for a very long time. The
Mm-hmm.
greatest issue that we face right now is that our lecturers are trying to carry physical school to the online space, but the online space is a different space to navigate that should be navigated very much differently. And them now come to that understanding, say, oh, certain research has to be done and so on. I mean, if you even look, a lot of them are not aware of even the platforms that they're using and all the features that they're able to use on it, and that's a great issue. A lot of them don't know if, say, them can even use whiteboard and Zoom and all those things. Or some of them are just coming and they're reading lectures, which makes no sense. And the students, you can't expect the students to learn under those conditions.
Sound model. Me for my computing courses, me can tell you say those those pretty good. Like you man them come and you know you have your cause a computing. We never did really do anything physical anyway. But like for me, we have one electronics course me I do right now, and like the man you want with the course have physical aspects to it. But like it just like to me don't make no sense. Cause you want to buy components and then you want to come Kingston and pick it up, or you want to big someone to pick you up for when we're supposed to we have the here by ourselves and we have to try to do it yourself, and I don't think that makes sense. Cause if me end up not understand something and not even like say me can say yo what happened yesterday and then you can point out what happened or whatever. Like I don't know, so, as I said, it's a different approach of it take towards the towards online learning, and I don't feel like some of the teacher yeah, realize that they might try to mimic physical school, and it just not work. And you see by the time me feel like somehow we are going learn as much as we're supposed to learn throughout the semester.
Can't, because even in like physical classes, like in my experience and like people who me talk about the subject, like people try to stuff as much information as they can in their brain, like just to pass an exam, right? And that was when even
Mm-hmm.
there were like written exams and not just multiple choice. So now it's just that there are a lot of people even in this online thing. They might use multiple devices and just a Google the answer, or them have the notes pan annex. Them have a note pan annex device and just basically just a read or fight and answer the question. And that mostly are because a discipline, and
Mm-hmm.
people
Just,
people really not learn.
okay, you must say like you realize say enough answers similar stuff, so you end up of a like I in job, you have to do in job and report them students there to like the administration if you say yo with these students they suspected of cheating and so on and so forth. And you know for one I like two reasons there. First reason that the pressure that they have like if you say one for pass, one for pass, one for pass. And then the second is that you can do it. Like if it like if the opportunity that if you do it, people are gonna take it. People are gonna take it. So real and truly we just have to find or they need to find more effective ways to test people and educate people on
Wait,
these
say I
parameters.
tell me say if like me, you and Nile have the same like answer, even if it wrong, we are gonna be suspected of cheating.
Yeah. Once it looks similar, as in with written examinations, of course.
Mm,
Oh,
But
oh,
yeah, Yeah.
That's
So
what
like
people
this,
in a dumb still.
but I mean, it's they have to, like, if there are any issues with that, if them see anything of the sort, they have to report. The reason being, because you have to remember that the institution doesn't necessarily, it don't accredit itself. It has people that it has to answer to as well. So that's why this whole cheating, plagiarism thing, all of that needs to be kept in check by the university. Else we face accreditation checks, accreditation threats.
But I would think even if someone is cheating, them could have just rephrase the question, rephrase them answer and think, yo, so I saw people desperate for cheat, so that's then just I put down back the same thing word for word.
Mhm.
Them not learn.
Yeah, some people do it like that. Some people actually do it like that. I know, like cheating is something you will take serious one, like they take you well serious. 'Cause I think they say you can get suspended for 100 years. I don't know, something like you can get suspended for
What?
100 years.
Yeah, man,
100
99
years.
years, you won't be able to come back and complete a degree until the end of that period.
Yeah, they suspended for 99 years until I said, yeah man, after that they can come back. Them they are dead and gone.
Better them they just say expulsion.
I
Yo, because that don't make sense.
don't know why they not say expulsion.
That don't make sense.
But they say they suspended
That don't make
them.
sense. Are you effectively immediately banned from the University of the West Indies? Better them say that.
They say they suspended for 99 years, depending upon how, like, the levels, how serious the cheating be and whatever. But yeah, man, I take them the serious one. But as I said, they need to find more effective ways. 'Cause we hear some of them say like they have online exams where they come on and they have to turn on their video and sit there. We don't know how effective that's about it, but we
Yeah, like my sister go UTech and like she did have to like dress up and
mm,
like turn on camera and answer question.
Yeah, man.
And one
I
man,
had an exam like that the other day, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know if you know, Romario, Latchman, Signals and Systems.
Oh yeah.
Yes, man. So that's how he's gone about his thing. So when we have our examination, we have to turn on our cameras and
Mm-hmm.
indicate if anything unusual, we have to indicate why we're doing that and so on. So the man doing it like a normal examination. So them turn on something the view, grid view.
We mean like abnormal. Like if you turn, like if you look, like if you look side to side, or something.
Yeah, man. For too long I saw and them still that the man question that. So yeah. And funny enough, they have technologies for that now, But I think that is a bit too stringent. I believe in
yeah,
the university. I think the universities in US or Canada, I've heard of a technology where you have to keep your head straight, else it will detect if there's any unusual motion like that, and you'll be reported as being as cheating. But I
Yo,
think that's an issue because I mean some students don't do exams the same. So some students have to take a break. Some students have to go to the bathroom. You see me? What about those type of students? Because I know a lot of students in even in face to face examinations they've had panic attacks and they've had the invigilators had to take them out, allow them to breathe and come back in, all those things.
mm,
Yeah, yes, it's a hard thing to really monitor as well. And then if me look around, it's not necessarily me cheating. It's just that's how my thinking process is.
yeah, you just like, yeah, that more stressful than actual exam. You have to know, say you have to stay so and look down. You can't move your head. That's stressful enough. Yo,
stressful, bro.
man,
Very, very. We can't
yo,
afford for them to implement such a system here. Truly not.
man. Boy, yo, really hope school come back next year. You see, alright, you see if it is even if you say alright, yo, you see if you live on campus, you have the option, I would recommend that you watch your lectures online. And if you're a commuting student and you don't have to come to school, like me feel like next semester every class is still online. I feel like every class is still online, but it's like you can still go class. You get me? I say. So I feel like that for happen. But I feel like tutorials for be face to face. And you have like 10 people max or whatever number a maximum people they say. I feel like tutorials will be face to face because and then you probably use the lecture rooms for do the tutorials. Cause if you don't have as much classes I keep, they will have lecture rooms available. So I feel like you can use lecture rooms for the tutorials next semester and you have like 10, 15 people and then space out. Come real like if online thing really rough man, really rough. I'm not say
It
it
really
will
not
rough.
work at all.
I feel like I that feel happen next year. What you would have no recommendations now?
All right, as you had stated earlier too, that was one of the recommendations. Let's use for tutorials. Let's do the
Mm-hmm.
tutorials and let's do them in bigger rooms. We're allowed to have the space. That was a big recommendation that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is just retrofitting the campus with sanitization stations and all that, right? And temperature check stations. But what my faculty had proposed was that they would have a wireless, well, a temperature checking system where essentially as you come to the door, your temperature is checked and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, it would give off an alarm if the person's temperature is over a certain amount, right? So then, of course, we know that some people are asymptomatic, but like little things like that would definitely help to control spread. But
Yeah.
again, anything we do from here and in will definitely have to be a hybrid system because to have everybody on campus, as you pointed out, will be a very it would be a logistic nightmare if we have everybody on campus. But at least have the
Mm-hmm.
option to those maybe. And what bothered me especially was that there was no priority. There was priority made on students doing face-to-face classes, such as chemistry students and so on. But there was no priority placed on those students that were without connection, that were without devices. I'm saying, why not let those students on? Why not open up the computer labs and allow them to access? So
Exactly.
that was a big thing for me, and it's something I'm going to continue raising up because I thought something like that would have been put in place. And they have a tablet loan scheme, but not every program can use tablets per se. Like if you imagine a program like engineering were required to use heavy programs such as AutoCAD and Multisim and all that, and that can't be run on a tablet device.
They even want little not even tablet like some people say, oh just buy one little $200 computer. That still can't because these things like they use a lot of RAM and they use a lot of processing power. So like you need the systems at school I think are like the minimum. And if you can't get access to those, like it rough. It really rough. Really rough. So yeah, as I said, like me not even think about that way you say a while ago. If you say they not even give priority to people who can't even get access to internet where they live. Like not even there think about that. I'm not sure because me never really seen any consider to say alright, if people can if people can have access to internet or devices where they live, they can come to school or whatever. But you see, next semester, I really feel like they need to consider these things and try to get people on campus because, like, we need to take personal responsibility with physical health and stuff. So we need to make sure that we follow protocols. But at the same time, we need to make sure that the learning or the education we receive from the university is efficient because say right now it's not the best and I feel like anybody would I mean for some programs like say maybe some people say alright yeah it's okay but for some people like they must say yo we think rough more rough than the face to face so really feel like they feel consider these things next semester just to see how we can actually implement them. We can't just lock up in a house and tell us stuck in front of the computer. Yo, if you're not game me a play, me no want sit down in front of the computer, you know.
Jaja,
I'm
tutorials
definitely.
them kind of rough still. I mean, I understand the current situation with the epidemic and such, right? We
Mm,
fully understand that, like, but yo, them need to find a better balance.
mm. What's it say? You say as me and Nile say, me feel like tutorials should be face to face. Cause tutorials already have a small set of people. We can maybe cut that in a half again. Use and carry out tutorials. 'Cause, you know, lectures. Me feel like me feel like a good amount of lectures okay online. You know, they come like for me personally, my lectures online okay. When you do tutorials, we can't even tell us that we find tutorials effective this semester. Because like usually when they have tutorials face to face, like me and I can't tell you because we are science students, like you'd have enough time you'd actually go up on the whiteboard and you'd have work out problems and you'd have people behind you and they might help you out and it really add to the whole learning learning um procedure at that time. But now is right now any tutorial when we actually go is just the teacher come and the problems are in Axia and then you probably don't know and say, alright, let me work you with you. And you know really help. Right now it's just right now it's not even about learning, it's just about passing the courses, honestly. And even more to learning.
But I think that was what university was always about,
So,
just passing.
I mean, at the same time, you have to learn the material. So I'm okay with continuing like this for the rest of the semester, but next semester I don't really know how to feel at this position. Really. Um, I think about 1 hour 30 minutes to go now, so I feel like it's a good time for to
Jaja, and it
close
gone
it
so
off.
quickly.
Gone quick one. So just get some closing remarks from everybody. Now, any last words
Our
from you
esteemed guest.
based on the whole, based on everything that was so far?
that's now I do 240. In all honesty, this is a difficult time for everyone. Um, everybody we have challenges all good. I mean, even we speak about lectures and adapting new approaches. Some of them have challenges themselves, you know. So it's a really difficult time to get through. But um, it may sound cliche, but we can get through together if we just work together. You know, follow the protocols, ensure that the people around us are following the protocols. This will be gone sooner than later. So we really have to really focus on those efforts, and then we have to also focus on something else. We have to make sure we have make a more active effort, even if we weren't before, a more active effort towards preserving up here. Because right now the mental health, this is something that this is too easy at time for that to go astray. This is too easy at time, and so we find we have to make a more active effort towards that, and making an active effort towards our mental health. I mean, it's a summative thing. So that also ties in with your physical health. So if you can, as Tarek said, take walks, if you take jogs or do something, get something that you can do. I encourage my committee personally that hey, make sure you have something that you do. What is it that you do when you want to escape from the stresses of school? Do you read? Do you take a walk? Do you run? We have to find something. We have to make sure so we actively try to find that thing, right? And that's all I really leave us with right now. Just make an active effort towards your mental health. That's all I believe good right now.
Well, as Nile say, it basically echo my sentiments when I say like the preservation of the mind, especially in these troubled times, is basically of the utmost importance, right? So, like, I always encourage people to find an outlet that they can basically create something and release their stress. It could be in the arts, it could be even like mathematics, or it could be reading or something, like find something that you can express yourself through. Like me personally, I like the creation of music and like various photo works and stuff and editing, like video editing, picture editing, music composing and all these things. So like when I want to like escape from basically the thoughts, right? Because sometimes like people can try to run from everything in reality. Them can't run from them thoughts, you see me? So I would encourage people to find a medium of expression, of therapy that helps them through these times. And in regarding to young people, I would say obtain knowledge of self, right? And try to develop an individual mind, because like young people now have the opportunity to learn more than the previous generations. You know, like with avenues like the internet and all these things, we have the potential to be wiser than the sages of old. So I would say keep calm, because cooler heads always prevail. Seek a friend, seek therapy in whatever form it might be. Yeah.
Find something where you like to do and just whether it be something creative or you know just going for a job, anything like that. Just feel and seek and continue to push through because I think October right now, by December we'll finish. You know, we have to just continue to push through. We have to get it done. As hard as it is right now, we just have to get it done. But yeah, I think that was a good place to end it. Um, Niall, thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Niall,
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It was indeed a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
wait, may I say look forward to the day we can play Red Square again. You know.
Yeah, man. For sure.
It's
Missing
square.
that. Everybody's been missing that, man. For sure.
You hear me now? Say one carry C5 with Champions League anytime school open but anytime
Yeah,
we
man, it's a
can do
must,
that.
man.
So
If I ever reach Champions
um,
League someday.
episode 4, you know. Now thank you very much.